So hi everyone. Today we will have a short stream and we will take it easy today. So the plan is to continue on OmniSharp and the BSP integration. Let's see. Last time I had the issue, that we need to sign the assemblies because the rest is kind of set up for signing, and yeah, we need to find a way how to solve that for now. I don't want to spend too much time on it currently because I don't really care about strong naming of the assemblies. Let's open up a new one here. PSP. So we have here the reference. I'm just thinking if for now it would be enough if we just copy all that stuff that we depend on here and copy the whole project over to OmniSharp for now, so that I just can create an initial implementation and test it a little bit without needing me to actually tackle this problem with strong naming. So all stuff that we have here is only the protocol things, so we could actually get rid of it here. And then we could copy over the whole project here in OmniSharp source and just drop it in here. Or should we could also just paste it in there. All the necessary files without the project itself. So let's do this for now. So, what? Why work here? Should working. Strange, really. Normally you can copy like folders. Oh, yeah, my fault. It's actually C, not Y key to copy it. So now it works. We remove this part and yeah, for now it should be enough, right? Then let's rebuild solution. Oh, I need also to remove the reference to the project from here. .psp project. This one. Okay. And the driver. Let's rebuild that project. Should be faster. Duplicates. What? Target framework attribute. Object release, duplicate of stuff. Okay, let's actually clean up the whole solution and rebuild it again. So we have still errors. Remove everything that is object or bin. And let's restart and rebuild the solution again. Sometimes it happens that you have leftovers in the bin and object folder. And yeah, the best way I found to handle it is just deleting every folder that's named bin or object, and then you're good to go most of the time. So okay, now we got other errors, which is fine for now. We have here Microsoft Code Analysis check to make sure assembly exists. C# scripting. So wait, maybe we rebuild only the standard IO driver application here, so that we can focus only on stuff that currently matters. So 113, that's a lot. The type of names could not be found. Stream.json RPC. Should be somewhere here. Okay, just I think. Dependencies. We looked here, we don't have any. But maybe in here. The BP project, and this one should have dependencies. So save project file here. Okay, this is a handful of them, so this is what we need to add also there. And I would need to copy more over, right? Yeah, but maybe I don't need everything from there. Yeah, let's first copy what we need. Where's the packages? Packages, props, file. So here we go. That's some below here. OmniShop stuff, QL, blah blah blah. X unit, whatever. Okay, so and this one and the other two. We have this one, and for the logging extension we have also. So we just need to have the package references there. And this is ESP project. Like this. All right. Now it's oops, I wanted to rebuild. Let me cancel. Oops. ESP. Cancel. Doesn't recognize that it's currently running. Okay. That's another issue. IO driver. So some errors are gone. We had an over 100 before, so we did resolve some of them. The annotation for nullable reference types should only be used in code with nullable annotation context. I need to open up the Chupa Chup for my wife. I don't know who invented that stuff here, but this is really annoying. And everyone hates it. and they didn't change it for years. Gotcha. That's a new one. I never saw this issue. Annotation for nullable reference. Do we have something special in build props here? Or is it? Something. Let's open up the browser. Search for it. Yeah. Nullable. Oh. So only if we set nullable context is set to enable. What it wants for me. Limitation nullable reference types. Following warnings indicate that you haven't set the nullable context correctly. The notation for nullable reference type should only be used in code within a nullable annotation context. Let me look this up. Nullable type. That's the same site, right? No, it's not the same site. Enable. Non-nullable unless declared with. Okay. Yeah, we should enable this if it's possible. I'm not sure if this makes more errors now. Edit here. Oops. So let's build the standard IO driver. Wow. I nailed. Do we want to change that everywhere? Nullable property collection must contain a non-null value when exiting constructor. It starts from the beginning here. Tap. Project configuration message. Nullable, that's required, right? But also I think we don't want to do that now. So this should be done separately. Else, just would take too long here. Good to know that it is not enabled currently. Up. Here everywhere, it's really annoying. Okay. Could also just enable it for this project. I think this should work because before it was not an issue. Right? So if we search for the BSPCS project file here, we could just say nullable, right? Enable, or is it enable? It was enable, I guess. Nullable. Build props. I could have just copied it also over this. Okay, then make IO driver. Okay, what's next? Some imports. Also some imports. Imports. Imports everywhere. now. Standard driver. See how much we have now. I forgot to save. Must contain no consider required modify field nullable. Which one? Server. Okay, this can be null actually. True. Initialize info. Initialize info. Also nullable. It's here. Okay. And let's build and IO driver. Strange that it does not show the location correctly. Solution file. Okay. So over here, I have here possible null reference argument. What do we do if this is empty? Don't want to set it to local share only. I guess. So, okay, we could check here if this is actually a value. This is actually a value. And like string null or white space. Right. And if it's null or white space, we do nothing. And else we would do this part. Right. I have to like that. Okay. That's really ugly currently. But yeah, can make it nice and pretty later on. So what do we have here? Possible null reference argument for parameter path 1 in string combine. Okay, that's the current issue, so jump to the next one. Dereference of possible null. So X is not null. Let's wrap this a little bit. So standard IO driver rebuild. So we have only 7 errors. So pretty far now. BSP client also could be null. And dereference of null reference. What? So X could be null here. Yeah, because deserialize can actually produce null if it could not be serialized. So okay, X is not null either. That's strange that it didn't recognize that it actually cannot be null here. Because we check for that here. X is not null, so everything that passes the where clause here will be not null here. So connection details can actually be null because of the first default here. But if it is, then this is an error. And we could return let's just say if connection details is null, we'll return here because there's nothing to do. Okay. Now only 5 left. So base directory can be null. So absolute path if it's not. Then the solution null path workspace info. So if it's null, we could also return here. So if this is null, right, we will just return here also. Return task object null. And we could log also from reset. Yeah, that's right. So this part, oops, reset. Let's call this, oops, no solution file and no root directory out. So this is actually nullable object then. Here what we can return. So first I have to check if it's initialized, right? If it's not initialized, we can return. And if it's initialized, then we can say for sure that it is actually existing here, because it should be there if we initialized. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's next? This can be null. But this one could not be null if we initialized. So then let's rebuild driver oops standard driver stuff. Maybe I should create a function to build the last selected target. This would be handy. Do we have here performance stuff? Yeah. I don't think this is that big of a deal for now here. But the rest seems to work. Yeah, the last time I also looked into, and after the stream I looked into the way how this works here, like for the MS Build implementation and for Cake and so on, and it seems that they sync over here OmniSharp Workspace. OmniSharp Workspace here, let me see. Workspace, right? Workspace, like this. And the way it works is when we find Cake project files, or I'm not sure, are this project or configuration files, then we try to find the CS projects that they are responsible for, and we load the projects, and we communicate that information via the workspace here. So you have here different functions, like add project and add document. And this is how it's done. The OmniSharp workspace derives from workspace, which is Microsoft Code Analysis class, or a class in the Code Analysis namespace. And I think we will do the same for now. Actually not sure if this is needed with build server, because actually the build server holds this information too. So I think in the future we could refactor or yeah, change the way how we communicate. But for now it's easier, I guess, if we use the same way here and use this OmniSharp workspace for now. And later on we can maybe introduce some other way, because this workspace is used also everywhere else here. And I think to change that, it would be just too much of a change for now. So maybe later on. Let me find the references. How many? 200. Okay. Change path. Base test service. Is this the part to handle tests? So it's not to test something, but to be able to run tests with OmniSharp or provide information about unit tests. Something like that, it seems, at least. So OmniSharp host workspace initializer composition host builder. So and then we have here the different handlers that depend on the workspace. Language server host depends. Net project manager, this is the MS build part. Navigation helper, quick fix extensions. Change buffer service also. Completion service. Get document. Something else, only this info. Get document. So yeah, I think later on I need to provide some interface that can satisfy all this handler and completion service and change buffer service needs. And then I could directly implement a class that translate all that stuff to BSP calls. And later on we can refactor that in a way that maybe we could directly call the BSP stuff. Not sure if this makes sense now, but step for step. So we could now definitely use this OmniSharp workspace and just pass the information through it. Open source. Code format service. Document. Most of the time they need to get the information about documents. Seems. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go here to BSP. Here to part. So this would mean now when we do get workspace model, before we return that stuff here, we say workspace add project, right? Project ID, project. So we would need to, come on. Find a way how the others add such projects. Because we provide only the file names of the project or file locations of the projects. What's that actually? Microsoft Code Analysis Workspace, Project ID. Create new ID. File path. Assembly name. This is also something from code analysis workspace. So we could copy over that and find some references. Project info, resolve analyzer reference for project. Analyzer assembly loader. Create project info. This is used here and here. Analyzer assembly loader. Load or reload project. Project file info. Load study and stuff. Project file info. Much to load here. Load or reload project. Load project. Actually builds it, as it seems here. Build project, solution config, project data, create file path, project instance. Internal class. So maybe it's easier if I copy paste it from cake implementation. This seems easier. So when we are here, try to load the project right into the workspace. Analyzer config document. I could also implement like configuration something finder right here. Not here. Here actually. So let's extract the method here. And rename this one to find connection details. Oh, it looks good. Yep. Rest we can implement later, right? And for the project stuff, this part right now. Or do we? Editor config. Okay, let's edit. Get editor config. This is something we need to look up in this cake implementation. What is the file path here? Cake file. Cake file. How do we do that in MS Build here? I think this should be done somewhere here. Editor config enabled. Get path root parent. Watch in folders above the project folder for changes to edit. Let's copy this over. Guess we can do the same here. Maybe we do it later on. So to do implement edit config. So then we remove this part here with analyze stuff. Now that's commented earlier. That's you. We don't forget. And name. It's for cake here. Oops. And I commented on cake. Go back here and we want to disable it here actually. So for now we don't need this. Here again to do editor config only, and we remove this part and the rest. Still something we need to do. So here for project info, right? Oops. And here we add it. And has object type and stuff, compilation options. So project ID. So we would need to iterate over the projects, I guess. So for each var project in all projects, right? We will do that part here. So and for each project, we can look up the base directory name. Oops. The project display name. We will try this out. So file path project ID URI URI and then the absolute path here. So the name is actually I think that's the display name. Final, but not in our case. compilation options. Here I'm not sure where it comes from. Like this is the cake stuff. C# compilation options. Using C# compilation line arguments. Default namespace. It's only the script, project provider, and cake provides that. It's done here in cake. Read only. Also create compilation options. So let's copy this part over. We can later on decide if you want it differently. So let's import a bunch of stuff. Cache script meter data resolver. Finding stuff. Okay, the only thing that we miss here is this. Let's search. Cake metadata reference resolver. So it's only script or cake. Should it do default runtime resolve or resolve missing assemblies? Let's abstract. Do we have which implementation do we have here? Script project. Oh. Time to go sleep. Yes, so let's just copy this part over here. I will look later on it. Just copy like this. So let's just rename namespace here. Be good to go. Many warnings about stuff. So let's here formatting. Ah, okay. I see. That was the issue. Here is new. Okay. It's easier to write like that. What do we have else here? Read only modifier. Okay, whatever. New. Right here the same. Read only modifier. Here use primary constructor. And remove fields. Yeah, why not? That's about equals. Okay. This was unexpected, but yeah. Whatever. Use try get value. Different kind of improvements here. Introduce parameter for restart. Okay. Nullability of type of parameter base file path doesn't match override member, possibly because of nullability attributes. So base file path. So base null path can be null. Use explicit type instead of var. That. Let's build again. Relation options. So we can say here compilation options. I think it was an array or something, right? And then something like that. Oops. Oh, come on. I don't see anything. And so this is the one. So if we try to get the compilation options, right, then this function will be called. Wait. What was this for the scripts? Done. Default reference resolver, and this. Okay, it's just the script method. Scripting, script meta, data resolver. What's the default resolver? So let's this is private default reference resolver, right? Default resolver. It's static. Read only. Yeah. Easier the other way around. Private static. So does not exist in the current context. That's not a problem. Okay. Another IO driver CS project. We have here oh, I forgot to set the type here. What? Cannot convert binary resolver. How could that be? Did I miss here something? Oh, caching script meta that resolve D3. Okay, this different here. So just copy pasting stuff from here to there, right? No, it's actually script metadata resolver default with base directory. NuGet metadata reference resolve. Caching script metadata. Not sure what this even does actually. Caching data reference resolve. We can copy the definition from here. take it over like this, and maybe rename only resolver name. Default runtime resolver. Okay, let's rebuild standard IO driver application. So, okay, this one worked now. The resolver worked. Now I need to get metadata references. Okay, what's done here? Yield, return metadata reference, cache, get metadata reference. Each reference, cake script references. Okay, not sure what this should be. Search for other occurrences here. What we set here? Script Roslyn. Create MISC files project. Which configuration omniscient stuff. So I could actually provide less to creating the project, seems. Default metadata reference helper, get default metadata reference locations. Select log metadata reference, create from file. Let's reuse this. Okay, how does that look like? So, are these further references? Submission true. Does this mean no? maybe not for now. Just object type. Globals type. What's this stands for? Object type. So code analysis, workspace. So what is this all about? Type of the host object. Yeah. That's not that much of an information. Project and host object property. So about the workspace. The workspace layer is the starting point for doing code analysis and refactoring over entire solutions. Within this layer, the workspace API assists you in organizing all the information about the projects in a solution into a single object model, offering you direct access to compiler layer object models like source text, syntax trees, semantic models, and compilation without needing to parse files, configure options, or manage inter-project dependencies. So it may be also needed on the BSP side. I'm not sure about that, but it could be. Okay. Host environments like an IDE provide a workspace for you corresponding to the open solution. It is also possible to use this model outside of an IDE by simply loading a solution file. Okay. A workspace is an active representation of your solution as a collection of projects, each with a collection of documents. A workspace is typically tied to a host environment that is constantly changing as the user types or manipulates properties. The workspace provides access to the current model of the solution. When a change in the host environment occurs, the workspace fires corresponding events and the workspace current solution property is updated. For example, when use types in the text editor corresponding to one of the source documents, the workspace uses an event to signal that the overall model of the solution has changed and which document was modified. You can then react to those changes by analyzing the new model for correctness, highlighting areas of significance, or making a suggestion for a code change. You can also create a standalone workspace that are disconnected from the host environment or used in an application that has no host environment. Okay. So you have a host environment, tool, workspace, solution, project, document, text, syntax, symbols. A solution is an immutable model of the project and documents. So maybe I start from the beginning. Also, a workspace may change every time a key is pressed. You can work with the model of the solution in isolation. A solution is an immutable model of the projects and documents. This means that the model can be shared without locking or duplication. After you obtain a solution instance from the workspace or in solution property, that instance will never change. However, like with syntax tree and compilations, you can modify the solutions by constructing new instances based on existing solutions and specific changes. To get the workspace to reflect your changes, you must explicitly apply the changed solution back to the workspace. A project is a part of the overall immutable solution model. It represents all the source code documents, parse, and compilation options in both assembly and project-to-project references. From a project, you can access the corresponding compilation without needing to determine project dependencies or parse any source files. A document is also a part of the overall immutable solution model. A document represents a single source file from which you can access the text of the file, the syntax tree, and the semantic model. Okay. But what is this host object type? So let's find other occurrences here, and then for the tests, this project name. Comes after the language here. Where are we? Language, file path. Get type script host type name. Type name only part. Okay, I'm not sure. On this one, we could actually just ignore this one. Oh, okay. Again, did the change in the wrong implementation. Da-da-dum. Yep, that's the wrong one. Here. We remove this for now. Okay. This one could not be found. This is just there. Inlet IO driver. Possible null reference return. This is an override. So it can be nullable. Seed IO driver, right? Okay, this worked now. So we have no errors currently. Looks good. And we just load all the project stuff here. Editor config, let's remove this for now. Also, we don't use this part. Analyze assembly loader. No file watchers and stuff. But that's okay for now. This could be static. This also, because we don't use anything from outside. So the static here makes it a little bit faster because it doesn't have to capture the context around it. Yep. That's it. So I guess in the next stream, we will try to run the whole thing, and yeah, let's see if it works or not. Yeah, we will see. So see you in the next one. Bye everyone.